Hello, good day everyone. As we all know, due to time shortage, we're not able to complete our class last week. So I found the need to record this video just to help aid in our learning so that we'll catch up because we are almost beyond time with the schedule for introduction to Excel. So without wasting much of your time, let's continue from where we stop. Um, we inserted a pivot table for channel names and then some of views, and then we plotted a bar chart just to illustrate how this look. So in this class we will insert, I think, three at max, three more pivot tables and three different charts, and then we'll see how we can sort this maybe to top 10, top 5. We can change the font color, increase the font size, and then do other formatting just to have a clearer visualizations for the charts. So let's get on. We have our chart for total view. So the next thing we'll do is we'll insert another chart. So in this now, as I've said, you still go to insert pivot table. That's on your main work. Still go to insert. You go back to your data set, right? And then click on any cell. You go to your insert pivot table. Since we have a sheet, okay, now it is up to you to decide whether you want to use new sheet for every pivot table that you want to insert. In that way you have lesser complications and then your work will be easy. But if you are okay with all your pivot tables on one sheet, you can do that as well. So it depends on you, whichever you feel is most understanding for you, you use that. So in this case I'll be using an existing worksheet. That's my sheet 2. So I'll just go on and click on it and then enter the reference. Okay, just like this. Now we have a new pivot field to create another pivot table. Now in this case I want to find the number of comment each post is having. So I'll click on my word count of comment count, and then instead of a channel name I'll click on the title now to see. That's I'm trying to find all the posts regardless of the channel that I've posted. So I'm using the title now to get any post that has been posted under data science now. So I'll click on the title. Now if you look at it, the title is a bit much and longer, so your visualizations might be complicated, but in this case let's just see what it gives us. So I have this, and then if you look closely, I said something about my pivot table fields. Now both my comment count and then title are on my rows. Okay, now I can switch this comment count to my x values because I'm trying to get the total summation of each title, how many comment it has. So I'll go to my value field and then I'll change it to sum. I press on OK. Alright, almost the same thing like we did last week. So if you look closely now, I think we have the total number of comments on every video that has been created regardless of the channel here. So what I'll be showing us quickly is how to now sort this information, let's say maybe from A to Z, Z to A, or sorting it using the value or the number. Now I'll come to my chart and click on it, then right click, and then my right click, after your refresh you see sort and then there are more sort options. Since we want to sort it in such a way that the larger number of comments will appear first, right? We will now go to more sort options, and then where we're seeing largest to smallest. Okay, this is not giving me what I want. Alright, let me redo this. Yeah, more sorting. Instead of me sorting manually from A to Z, I can use maybe descending or ascending, depends. In this case, I'll use descending, that's from the largest to the smallest. Now, if you look at it, it's on the title, but I don't want it to be the title. I want my count of comments to be sorted. So I'll click on sum of count of comment and press on OK. Now what you have here is your work has been sorted from the highest sum of count of comments to the lowest. In this point, you will just know that Directly Learn Python full course for beginners had the highest comments on all the videos that have been posted. And after I've sorted this, now if you look at it, this is much bulkier and bigger for me to plot this. Now take for instance, I want to plot this on a chart. Let's use the column chart this time around. And if I plot this on a column chart, due to the higher number, if you look at it, it's not clearer. So what I'll do is I'll just find the top 5 most commented videos and then possibly the bottom 5 most commented video. So we'll filter this information. Just undo this. We'll filter this information using the filter. The same way, right click on the pivot table, and then after your sort, you see filter. Now in filter, if you look at it, keep only selected items. In this place, it gives you the opportunity to select the items you want only. Now you can hide the items you have selected. It's just the reverse of the other function. And then top 10 filters. And this is where we're going to. You can label filters, value filters. Maybe you filter based on the values. Now I want just top 10 and top and bottom 10. So I'll click on the top 10. Now there's a small box that will appear. And if you look at it, it said show top. If you click on the drop down, there's top or bottom, depends on anyone you want to use. And then the number we have from 10. You can also customize this. Since I want just the top 5, I'll insert 5 here. And then the items, definitely just items, not percentage, not sum. And then by noun is what are you filtering it by. Now the sum of count of comments is what I'm filtering it by. And once I click on OK, now if you look at it now, my data is filtered only to the top 5 comments. Okay, now I can decide to now plot the same column chart for this. Now if you look at it, this is much more clearer and much more understandable. Now you have Learn Python full course and then C++ tutorials, and the list goes on, already arranged because I've already sorted it from the larger to the smallest. So it's already sorted, and it starts from the largest then to the smallest in that order. So we have this. The same way you can go on to hide all field buttons since they're not necessary. Now in this case, I've said something. I said your data label gives you much more information. That's the information is more specific than the use of the grid line labels. So what you do is you come to your chart element, the small plus icon at the right hand corner of your chart. And if you look at it, we have grid lines here and we have legend. And I said something, unless you are using, unless your data or unless your visualization carries multiple colors of which you want to show the differences to each color, your legend is not needed. So in this case, since they are all in one color, I will just unclick the legend. The same way, my chart title, I can change this to top 5 comments requirements, something of this nature. Okay, and okay, my data label now, I'll just come here to unmark the grid lines since I'm using the data label. Now this go hand in hand. If you're using a data label, there's no need for grid lines. For grid lines is to show the demarcation from your axis to where the chart is, right? But in this case, since we are using a data label and the values or the figures are already precise, there is no need for us to leave the grid line. So you just unmark that and then you delete the axis for your numbering. Okay, now something of this nature. Now you have your work here, and if you look closely, our data labels now, the labels are in inside center, something, yeah, are in center. Now you can decide to change it to inside end, inside base, or the data colored. But in this case, the data colored is much bigger because the name is carrying too many, the name is long. So when you're using an inside colored, you can as well just remove the labels under your bars. So in this case, I'll just go with the inside end. Inside end. Okay, something of this nature. Now we have inside end here. The same way, you can also drag this out of the box in case it's conflicting and the position is not okay for you. You can drag this out, something of this nature, and then we have this outside. Same way with all of this, you can drag them. They're actually editable. So all right, something of this nature. Now I've dragged them all out of my chart. Now my exact value now is placed at the top of every chart, okay, with the names. Now in the same way, you can just highlight the labels for each bar, and then let's take, for example, we want to add the font. Just right click. Once it's highlighted, you go to font. Then on your font, if you look at it, you have the Latin text font, whatever font style you want it to be. Once you click on the drop down, you have different font styles that you need. Okay, then you have your font color. Do you really want to change the color? Whatever color you want to apply to it. In this case, let's take, for example, I want to use a blue color as my font color. We have an underline. Do you need to underline the text? In this case, let me say no. Your font style, is it italic, bold, whatever it is, and then the size. Now you can now add the size. In this case, let me make it 15 so that it will be clearer enough. Okay, all right, let me leave it at 12. Now on this, I can just click on OK. Now as you can see, now my data labels now have changed to a blue color, and then the font size has increased. Okay, these are some of the customizations we're talking about. You can do the same to your chart title. Also, just right click on it. Once it is highlighted, you can choose a style that is most suitable for you. Okay, now we have different styles here. Pick the one that is most appropriate. It's advisable you use something that is much clearer and it will stand out. You can decide to change the feel. All these are customizations. You can just outline it. Now this is just for this chart. Okay, now, and I said we also create, I think, 2 more charts now. So what we'll do is we create the remaining charts and see other customization options we can do on them. All right, so continue. This time around, we'll try using different chart types. Also, I think we'll look at the pie chart and then possibly the line chart. These are the 2 other charts we'll add. So we'll still go back to our data set. Same way, insert pivot table, existing. Okay, now you choose the location. Since our location is sheet 2, now we have a pivot table 3, right? And this time around, let's click on the publish dead, and then let's say title. Okay, that's the video title. We're trying to find the date that each video was published. So here, now it depends. If you look at my row critically, we have the rows. In the rows, we have the years, the quarters, and then the month. So it depends on whatever. If we are going with the year, we can decide to just remove the quarters. We remove field. Okay, just like this. Same thing. And decide to just remove the field, and then we just have the years and the title. So instead of leaving the title now on the rows, since we are plotting years against it, our title now will be on our X value. And what are we doing? We are counting it. Okay, count of title, and this will count the number of videos that was posted in each year. And just as you have it on my pivot table, 2008 had 368, and so on, the number goes on. So you do the same thing. You can sort these, more sort options. Okay, let's use ascending in this case. Now in our years, since we are sorting it using the count of title, you change this to count of title, and then you press on your OK. Now it sorts this from the least to the highest. We have 211 as the least number of times videos were posted, and then 2021 as the highest. Now we have this. Now with this information, we can go on. Since it is against the year, you can decide to use a line chart here. It is appropriate. Okay, now we have a line chart. Now it shows you the trends of what video posted over the years, right? Same way, you can remove your legend since it's not needed. I will just delete this. My grid lines are needed here since this line is continuous. Okay, so we cannot plot a data label for this, so we'll leave the grid lines and then the number values on here. You can go on and remove value field buttons. Okay, you can just hide it once everything boot. Your title also can change this. Let's name this video published by here. Okay, your title should capture what you're trying to visualize on your chart. Okay, now if you look at it, now we have from 211 to 212 with the lines. It shows how this are done. So I think let me just add a style here to this. Okay, since I'm using a default blue color, I'll just add a blue color to my title, something of this nature. Now on this, I can increase the font size. Let's say 12. Okay, font size 12, and then I'll bold it. The font color, I'll leave it at the usual dark black. So if you look at it now, we are good to go. This is how it would look like. Okay, those are just customizations to give you a unique feel and then to make your visualizations more clearer. Okay, I can decide to change the color of this line. Same way I told you in the last class, you just right click on the line and then you come to fill. You can decide for any color you choose. Now if this method is not working for you, I said you can come on to your font that's on your home tab, to your font ribbon, and manually change the color to whatever specification you want to. Now we have our line chart here. Okay, We also have our line chart here, and the next thing I will show you is a pie chart. Okay, now for a pie chart, it is of utmost importance you limit the number of categories or the number of information you want to show in your pie chart. At most, there should not be more than 5 categories. Okay, 5 to 3 or 5 to 2 rather. If anything is more than that category, you can do as well to just use the normal column chart or the bar chart, because when you have too many colors conflicting themselves, it doesn't give an appropriate information. Those colors will be conflicting with each other. So I will also go to our chart right now. Okay. All right. So come to insert. Okay. Let me just navigate the bottom of my work here. Alright. Back to this. Okay, right. Now we are here. Okay. Now back to my site. Insert pivot tables. Okay. This is my table range, still on my existing worksheet. Again, I say you can use new worksheets each time just to have all of your information in separate sheets, just for clarification, and then you understand what you're working with. But if you're okay with everything on one sheet, you can go ahead. So existing worksheet on my sheet 2 still. I'll just click on this, and then I have a new pivot field, right? This time around, since I'm trying to show I think we did views, right? Okay, I can decide to use the count now, the likes. That's the number of likes a channel has. Okay, now I'll click on the channel names and then like count, just something like this. Now the same way I'll drag my likes count to my x value, since that's what we'll be using to get the total number. Now the same way we use our sum, it will sum all the likes under Alex the analyst and so on. Now if you look at it, this is the information we have here. We have Alex the analyst having about 914,208 likes. Okay, now the same way we can filter this information, since we are trying to plot a pie chart. Let's limit this now. We did top 10. Let's limit this now to bottom. Now we limit it to bottom 5. Okay, this is okay. Now we have only the least 5 items, that's those with the least likes. Now we can sort this also to more sort options, smallest to largest. Okay, yeah, can sort this. Okay, now we have this like this, from largest to smallest, and then we insert a pie. Now there are different types of pie. We have the 2D pie, and then we have the pie of pie. Okay, and then we have the bar of pie. These are different types of pie chart. We have the donut. Already I made mention of the 3D. I said we don't use 3D mostly on data analytics. Okay, when you come to maybe modeling of sorts, you can use that, but basically in data analytics we just use the normal 2D. So between these two, you can choose which you want to use. In this case, I will use the donut. The difference is the donut just has a hole in between your files. Okay, now I have, now if you look critically, now you can see the use of our legend here, simply because we have something to do with colors to differentiate between our plots. Now you can see that the colors are now here. We don't have to remove our legends. All we need to do is remove or hide our field buttons. Okay, now we have this, and then we can rename this to bottom bottom 5, let's see, channel likes, something of this nature. Now we have this chat title. You can now add a style to it, whatever style you feel. Okay, let me go with something like this. I can now maybe reduce this a bit because it's covering more space. Okay, now I can also add the size of this by dragging this. If it's too small, I can increase the size. Okay, now I can change the color of the whole chart just as we did with the bar. Once you click once on it, and then this line, these dotted lines is appeared. Once it appears on the whole chart, it shows that you can change the whole color of the pie chart. Once you double click, it means it's ready to change only the highlighted color. So in this case, the blue, you can decide to change this. Let's see, as you can see now, if I hover over it, the colors are changing. So let's take for example something of this nature, brown. Okay, now I can decide to say, okay, this is how I want my pie chart to look like. Then I have my legend here. I can also increase this just for it to be more clearer to my viewers. I can also add the font, same way we do it. Just right click on it, and then there's a small option that opens. You can now change the font. Let's make this, let's say 15, right? Let me bold this, or let me italize it in this case. Something of this, I'm having this now. If you look at it now, because of the increase in size, not all of the information are captured, so I might as well still increase this. Okay, so I think in this case I'll still have to reduce it so that all this will be there. So go back to my font. Let's make this 10. Okay, all right, we have this now. If you look at it now, we have our legend. Now these are what you can do with pivot tables and charts. So this will be all for this video. When we come next in our class, we'll look at dashboard creations. In that place, we'll create a dashboard, and then these charts that we have visualized, we'll copy them and paste them in our dashboard, and then we align and arrange them and see how our dashboard should carry information to our viewers. All right, thank you very much for your time. Goodbye for now.